Welcome to Nobody Knows with Joe Coffee, powered in part by Classic of Denton.
Okay, so are you a fan of Denton Radio?
Yes, I am.
Are you familiar with Joe Coffee?
I've heard of him.
He recently changed his name to Joey Johnson.
Oh, that's good.
You like that better?
Yeah,
It's not so like wake up in the morning and drink me.
yeah.
Okay, so I'm with Denton Radio, and I'm with the show Nobody Knows. Are you familiar with it?
I haven't heard of it, no.
Never heard of it?
Nah.
Are you familiar with Joe Coffee?
I've heard the name.
He's actually changing his name back to Joey Johnson. What do you think about that?
Well, it has a nice ring to it.
I think it should be Joe Espresso.
The name?
Yeah.
Is it spelt like coffee, like the drink?
Yeah.
I kind of like that one.
He wasn't himself, though. Does that make sense?
Like it was a persona?
Yeah. Like,
Okay.
you have to be that all the time.
Right, except when like he's like at home or whatever.
Yeah. And his mom's like, hey, Joey. And he's like, it's Joe Coffee, Mom. What's your name? Your nickname?
Andrew McNasty.
Andrew McNasty?
Well, it's Drew McNasty, technically.
Joe Coffee changed his name to Joey Johnson.
Who the hell's that?
Exactly.
Joey Johnson.
I'm with Denton Radio. I'm here with...
Isaac Brown, Bud Brown.
What are you doing out here today?
Just playing a little bit. I like to come out here, practice. Kind of getting ready to go out and start doing shows, possibly
Awesome.
a tour. So
Nice, man. Well, are you familiar with Joe Coffee?
I do know Joe Coffee.
You do? Are you familiar with what's recently changed about him?
No. What's recently?
He changed his name
No way.
to Joey Johnson.
I like Joe Coffee, but
It's like he said when he was Joe Coffee, he wasn't him. He didn't feel himself.
he didn't feel himself. I can agree with that. Like I know how it is. You know, I've been in.
Where you get caught up in the
Yeah.
character that you're music.
Yeah,
or
exactly.
whatever.
But it's like I like to keep the name because it lets me know that those two people are different. You know.
It's like the star thing or whatever. But do you like art?
Yeah.
You want to come help me save a bird?
Sure.
I'll come help you save this bird.
I actually did not know. I did not know.
Nobody knows Joey Johnson.
Oh, whoa. That was weird. That was abrupt and not very personal at all. Oh, my goodness.
Nobody knows Joey Johnson.
Joey Johnson. And we are live here. What episode? Is this 26?
This is episode 26.
27? Is this 26?
This is 26.
Or is it number 1? Because now we are Nobody Knows with, as heard in the intro, Joey Johnson.
Nobody knows Joey
What is
Johnson.
this?
Should be Nobody
we've done hard.
Really
We've
Knows.
worked hard. It's still 26. You know, you haven't changed. You know, I'm
Same.
changing. I'm getting famous and changing.
You're going through changes. You're butterflying your caterpillar.
Right. The metamorphosis phase.
Butterfly
So,
knives.
episode 26. I am here as always, your host. Well, now Joey Johnson, co-host as always, Richie Flo.
Richie Flo.
Haven't changed
May
the name
change
yet.
my name to Houdini.
To Houdini. Okay.
Because that's
awesome.
like in right now, where you just take someone's name from previous and just pay
Rich
homage.
Flodini.
It's
Flodini sounds like a
Flodini's-
pasta dish that you would
Flodini's
get at like
cool,
an
though.
Olive Garden, you know?
I could be Flodini.
I
I think people would just laugh at me if I was like, y'all start calling me Flodini
Just start
now.
calling. Well, I mean, your magic pill. You literally have a top hat, a rabbit, and some handcuffs. You look like a magician. You have a wand. and
Flodini it
everything.
is.
Flodini.
The amazing Flodini.
So, as said, Nobody Knows with, I guess now, Joey Johnson. As you guys noticed, we're starting the episode with me and Richie today.
Yeah, Joey.
Joey. Weird, right?
You should have like
For
a
those that don't know, that
sitcom.
is my birth name. And
Joey or Joseph?
Well, no, my birth name, it's not even Joe. It's Joe. Joe Johnson is like my birth name. So here's the thing, dude.
What?
Yeah, I'm Joe.
We're gonna name him Joe.
You ready to hear the whitest thing ever?
Yes.
I'm Joe Kelly Johnson the fourth. So I'm the
Wow.
fourth one. The first was like a cop from Fort Worth. The second is my grandfather. And I don't know what they called the first.
Wait.
I don't know what they called the first. My grandfather's
first one
dad.
was a cop in some cop
Dude,
in Fort Worth.
no, what's funny is
A
there's
random
picture-
cop in Fort Worth.
there's
How
a-
did he get the first?
The first Joe Kelly Johnson. That's what he was given. That's the birth name.
I
he was
know,
given.
but was he related to you, or is he just some random
Yeah,
cop?
it's my grandfather's dad. So he's a cop from Fort Worth. What's
Great-grandfather.
funny is the relevance of that, I guess, the insignificant relevance, was in the barley and board bathroom in the men's room over one of the urinals. There's a picture of the Fort Worth Police Department around that time, and I'm pretty sure he's in that picture. But anyway, so the second was my grandfather. The first is my dad, but my grandfather goes by Joe. My dad goes by Kelly, and so I would go by Joey, as to not confuse.
The three of y'all when y'all are all eating
when we're all just
supper?
like Thanksgiving, or whatever. Yeah. So that's the real
And
name.
now they started calling you Coffee.
What?
Your family never called you
No,
Coffee?
my family never called me Coffee.
Do they like
At all.
coffee? Did they ever like the coffee name?
Did they like the coffee name? See,
Like, my grandparents don't love Flo because it's not Flores, my actual last name. So
yeah, and that's what yours is. Yours is short for Richard Flores, right?
yeah.
Is that what it is? So I mean, yeah, we're breaking it down. They now know. Yes.
Yeah, it
Richard.
is.
Is that how Richard? Is that who Richard Flores is?
It is, but Richard.
Do you ever feel different being called a name that like you weren't ever called like
No.
growing up?
People call me my mom calls me Richard when she's mad at me, and my girlfriends that I've had in my life have called me Richard when they're mad at me.
Yeah.
Almost joking, they're like, Richard? And it's like,
Yeah,
But I don't-
I've always been Joey to my family. No one in my family's called me Joe. Everyone since I've been in Denton, because since I've got been doing comedy, it's been Joe Coffee. So everyone calls me Joe, which is an interesting thing, because I literally know. It was an easy way to tell like who I've known, because
Why did
you
you
know doing performance, like you meet people and then you don't necessarily you're on a stage and they see you on the stage and they feel like they know you and they talk to you. Anyway, so if someone called me Joe, I would be like, I would know. I'm like, oh, you know me from my stand-up. But if someone would be like, Joey, I'm like, oh, you know me from my past.
Yeah, yeah.
So it was easy to differentiate.
why weren't you Kelly Coffee?
Kelly Coffee? Doesn't that sound like a just like a model, like a Sports Illustrated model?
Yeah.
Kelly Coffee.
Like Kelly Coffee. Introducing Kelly Coffee and Cat Williams. There's just like a...
That's a hot name. I like Kelly Coffee. I think I have to look a lot better. Dude, there is so much talking. Is that Tony? We
No,
do have
that's
Tony on today, for those who don't know. Tony Casillas, he's been on the show today. Kenny Severson, they're going to be talking about their film, I Stand Alone, later. But yeah, man, I mean, I don't know. I just wanted to drop it. It felt... it just
let's go.
I
We
was
can go ahead
going
and start
through,
getting into that kind of stuff about,
I was going through a third life crisis. Kind of a thing. And
Are you
so,
estimating...
Tony, is that you laughing outside, or is it the Tony, you have the
You
loudest
know it was
laugh.
him laughing.
Can they even hear it? They can't hear us at all. It needs to be louder up for the live studio audience. Which, speaking of, if you guys ever
They are
want to
cracking
come,
up out there. They love
two
what
of
we're
them are
saying.
two of them are guests later. Two of them are guests. Oh man, here we go. Yes, this is gonna be fun. Now we got walk-ins. No, I just like felt like
You're going through
it didn't feel like me and my
quarter
own
life
skin.
crisis, as we call it.
Is it a quarter life? I'm 27. That's if I live to be 108.
Yeah,
that
dude,
would be
we're in
magnificent.
the age of technology. We're going to live to be thousands and thousands
of years old.
Yes.
You think so?
It's definite.
So this is not a quarter life. This would be like a 16th
You're having a 100th of your
life crisis right now. No, man, I just
which should just be a crisis at this age of.
a lot of people would bring up the fact how Joe Coffee was a separate entity. Like I've talked to so many people and they'd be like, well, that's Joe Coffee on the stage, and then and I just felt like, well, comedy is something that's supposed to be completely transparent and almost have a hint of truth in it. You know what I mean? And when I'm going up and not being me, because Joey Johnson's out there experiencing this stuff. Joey Johnson's sitting there writing the jokes, but
Joe
people
Coffey's
go on
getting all the
stage,
credit.
right?
It's like Joe Coffey's
It's
Santa Claus.
It's Superman Clark Kent. You know, not to compare myself to that at all. That's ridiculous. But I mean, Clark Kent never gets the credit for
That's actually what I
Superman.
meant to say, and I said Santa Claus.
Santa Claus and who?
I just said Santa
And
Claus.
yeah, and I was like,
meant to
yeah,
say
absolutely.
Clark Kent and Superman. But
It's
yeah,
kinda-
yeah. I mean,
And people aren't going to let me forget it. That's the thing, too. Here's the thing. Like, first off, it's like we were talking earlier. Joe and Joey are interchangeable. So when people now see me, they're, like, really forcing the Joey. You can still call me Joe. You know, it's the same name. It literally, it's like Rob, Robbie, Bob, Bobby, John, Johnny, Louis, Louis. you know?
I mean, but also you can have, like, when stuff goes down, people are like, oh, and, like, the Joey Coffee Pass comes up. You get to walk away scot-free because you're
From
Joe
the Joe
Johnson.
Coffee Pass?
Yeah, you know.
What's the Joe Coffee?
robberies,
Bank
things like
robbery, get my eyebrows busted in.
that. Yeah. See, let me ask you this.
Rigging an award show.
How many times did you get your eyebrows busted in as Joey Johnson?
0, but I did chip a lot of teeth and get some black eyes and tear some tendons. And, yeah, I mean, you know.
Were you a gymnast?
A gymnast?
Were you a boxing gymnast?
A boxing gymnast? No, I'm just a struggle man. That's really all it is. But I mean, you know, like it was. I think it's for the better. I am excited to kind of feel like me again, to feel like the person I grew up with.
Because you weren't feeling like you. You were starting to feel the.
I mean, you know, it's the cliche of the feeling stranger, not feeling familiar in your own skin. Did you say artism?
Yeah, basically. As artists, I feel like across the board, a lot of artists go through these like depressions and things where they feel like they need to constantly be creative, and when they're not being creative, they start spiraling, and they don't realize that it's
they
just
feel the need to have to create otherwise, just to keep the brain busy.
I mean, we're all built to be miserable people, and that is how it works. So you have to find things that make you.
It's so funny
not
though.
miserable.
You're not that person, but like I mean, your album DICK is entirely. I don't know what we can say.
My album.
Your album is entirely. It's pretty. You have very, very intense lyrics,
and
it's
that's
depressing.
where that goes.
It's good. It's a good album, but it has
and
a
that's where it
depressive
goes.
tone.
I use that as my outlet, you know.
Yeah, to get
so
that
I know
out.
that once I get all that out, like most people are just
I just
sitting
knit,
there,
you know, and churn butter and tell some jokes.
See, the thing about knitting, that I'm a crocheter.
You're a crocheter. That's the word I was actually trying to think of, and I couldn't think, so I just went with knitting because I'm dumb.
See, Joe Coffey would have known that.
Joe Coffey would have known crocheting. Joey Johnson's an idiot.
What about Joe Crochet?
Joe Crochet? Joe Crochet. I'm happy to have no coffee jokes. I'm happy that I can now drink coffee and not feel like a cornball.
And confidence?
You know, because like if there was a dude like named Jimmy Tacos walking around, he was just always eating tacos. You'd be like, what's this guy's deal?
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
like I don't know if I could trust this guy. But coffee's like such a necessity on like tacos that I don't really want to like cancel that out of my life because I feel weird for having a name. Because then the jokes, all the coffee jokes are gone.
Did you feel a weight lifted?
Well, I don't have coffee jokes or jokes for me. Did I feel a weight lifted?
Like a weight lifted when once.
Yeah, because here's the thing. Like, it's something I had thought about, and at first my intention, I wanted to keep like the comedy separate from my family. You know what I mean? I wanted it to like be its own thing. But now my family's like so supportive. I'm getting older, and I think I realize a little. I'm not the like.
Everybody starts doing their art with like, I don't want my family involved at all because, you know.
Well, I started from like when I started comedy, I wasn't exactly in like the best place, period, or with even my family. And now that like I have found a thing that like they think I'm like decent at, you know, and they support or whatever, it's our relationship's gotten better. So I think like as old man as it sounds, and I'm only 27, but you start realizing you're a little more family oriented, you know. Like, I mean, dude, this is something I had thought about, like if. You know, like heaven forbid if like my father's ever passed away and then I'm sitting there with the name Joe Coffey, I would feel weird. You know, like on stage, I feel like I wouldn't be representing this little legacy.
That's the problem. That's the problem
whatever.
my grandparents have. They're like, you don't want to be famous Richard Flores?
Richard Flores?
Not really. Not unless I'm like
Richie.
in an Edward Scissorhands movie.
Yeah. Well, and also, I mean,
hit me up, Tim Burton.
The one issue with the being the fourth, you know, the Joe Kelly Coffee or Johnson. Oh man, see.
Why don't you just go by?
That's my email is Joe Kelly Coffee. I got to change that. Joe Kelly Johnson. That what?
Isn't there a nickname for people who like just four? People just call you Fourthy or something.
Fourthy? I don't know.
What's up, Fourth?
My family's like
you go
really
by Fourth
white,
Gump?
and they're just like Joe Kelly Johnson the Fourth, and they speak in British accents.
You're the
Hey guys, shut up out there! Jesus Christ!
You're the fourth. You could just go by Fourth Gump.
Yeah. And so it's a Jesus Christ, people. Oh my God, I don't know. With the fourth, it comes like the that whole like pressure of like now I have to make a fifth.
Do you? Yeah, you have to. Have
like
fifth.
Otherwise, then I'm the guy who dropped the chain mail,
and then that perpetuates
the chain email.
six.
I'm like the guy who didn't like push it forward, to like support dying puppies or something.
You're like the iPhones of names.
Yeah, and it's just got to keep the iPhones of names. That's so funny. Oh my God, they got so quiet out there now. That's so cute. These are so terrible. And we're completely
The iPhone 35.
the iPhone 30 for Joe Kelly Johnson 35.
I-35.
Are you not a number? Are you not like a?
No. My brother's a junior, and I always told people that I was Richie Junior just because it had a. Richie
So wait,
Jr.
you're not a junior?
No.
Is your dad Richard Flores?
No.
No.
Not at all. He's a
Are you,
David.
so you're the only, he's a David.
He's a David.
He's a Davy Flo.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you got anything else you want to talk about? I feel like all my training, I'm lost on this now.
I mean, I don't know. I think it's important for people who are artists to realize that, just go be creative.
Go be creative.
Be creative and be yourself. If the Richie Flo thing. I mean,
Do you think you're at a healthy place? Do you think you're at a healthy place if you have to create to distract though?
I mean,
are you at a healthy place as an artist? I mean, I get like the cliche of the art comes from pain or whatever, but I mean, if you're good at what you do also, shouldn't you just be able to create and there not have to be the symbiotic relationship of like pain and misery, to be able to do a thing?
I have no insurance. That's one of my big pains. Those are like the things that like.
Yeah.
But I still don't. Everything else I have that I've ever wanted or needed, things that I need. So I don't know if it's like, it's definitely not being. What's the word?
Is it disingenuous to have the pain, and suffering, in your life just to, make a thing,
When my parents got divorced,
I never had to,
I was
cry
so
before
happy.
I did arts and crafts, like in elementary school.
I was so happy when my parents got divorced.
Really?
Because, I wasn't. It was, sad, but at the same time, I was like, this can be in my movie. All these things that, my whole life,
like a
every
Blink-182
struggle,
song.
I'm just like, oh, this is terrible. But the movie
this is going to make me a great rapper.
Yeah. There's certain things. I told my dad that a long time ago, hey, everything that ever happened in our lives, I don't know if I need to forgive anybody or anything, but
you guys gave me the best screenplay of all time. Thanks for the content. Oh, man, that's so perfect. So I guess before we get in today's guests and stuff, you want to talk about the 25th? That's coming up soon.
Oh, yeah.
That's in 10 days,
the 25th is a club that we're starting for all the people who love Denton Radio.
It is not, but that's okay idea.
Jake's
I
like,
guess.
what? The 25th?
Jake's sitting there, he's like, what? We went behind his back. We run this now.
No, this is the magic show that I have at Andy's coming November 25th, featuring me, Vegas, and Monaco, and we're just going to blow people's minds.
I'm hosting it. It'll be fun.
Yeah. Are you host the flyer?
Says Joe Coffee. That'll be the last flyer with my or with that name on it.
So if you have that flyer, I'd get it signed.
Signed, yeah, for the last time ever, and it'll be worth a whole Taco Bell burrito.
Wait till after the show to rip
So
it down.
Magic Show.
Yep,
I'll be hosting Monaco, Vegas. I have talked to you somewhat about your act, and I would say, as someone who used to not even enjoy magic, watching it with just being friends with you and being around it makes it something that's it's a lot crazier than seeing it on TV. You know, anyone that thinks they've seen magic on the David Blaine or whatever, you've seen it. I've always seen it behind a screen, and seeing it in person and what this guy is gonna do, it's pretty insane.
And that's a big thing. People will. I want people to know, when you're watching TV, it's so easy to just say everyone's in on it. That's once you say that, you rest assured that somebody's not doing something sneaky.
Right.
Oh, everyone's in on it, and you just count it out. But really, you'd be surprised how many times nobody's in on it.
Not at all.
There's just something you don't know about that.
So it could be magical. The tiniest of things, or it could be absolutely magic. Because some of the stuff this guy's doing is pretty crazy.
Pure
So
magic.
the 25th, how much is the cover for this? Does it say on this promo video we're about to play?
I don't think it says on the promo, but it's $20 pre-sale and then $25 at the door. So come out, come have fun, watch magic. If you figure out how I do my effects, cool.
Then what? What do they get?
What's
What's the cash prize to call out the secrets?
There's no cash prize.
You're doing and another plug. You're doing trivia. This just reminds me. You're doing trivia at Mulberry Street Cantina tonight. And you're
Game
the trivia
Changers.
host. Game Changers.
Game
I'm sorry.
Changers.
It's right there.
Yeah.
I once did bingo at Mulberry Street. That's why I'm saying that. But what was I going to say? You came up with the 400-point snitch.
40-point snitch.
40-point snitch.
If you catch somebody cheating and you can show me a picture,
You get 40 points on your trivia team.
Because
I think it's hilarious.
last week, someone were like, "There's no way people couldn't," and I looked up questions that there's no way anybody could have known, and there
They
were
were
people
knowing?
answering it, and I was like, "How?"
Don't you kind of have to watch them a little bit?
Yeah,
Isn't that a little bit on you?
it's partly on me.
You don't have to stroll around like the bar, like are they?
I don't know,
Do
I've
they
never
sit in
done
like
it.
one kind of close area? Or is it people all over the place?
I'm gonna make it one
That
area.
place is so loud and noisy. I did a set there last night for open mic, and man, it was like to one girl eating chicken and dumplings, which I didn't know they served there.
They have chicken and
Chicken
chicken and dumplings.
All right, so the 25th, Andy's Bar. Richie will literally be blowing your mind. I can't even put it. It's gonna be insane, and he's even got me doing a little bit of magic.
Hey.
So you're gonna want to check that out. We have a promo video for it. We're gonna pull that up, and then we're gonna bring in Tony Casillas and Kenny Severson to talk about their new film, I Stand Alone. But right now, Richie, Andy's Bar, November 25th, the Saturday after Thanksgiving, and that's this video right here.
How does he do that? Oh my god.
Name a card. Think about it. That's weird, right? That was a queen? You know what's even weirder?
That was my card.
What was your card? Oh,
Okay, I'm out. I'm out.
Okay, nice.
That was really cool.
That was.
So how much is it? It's 10 to get in? Wait, where can they get the tickets now? It just literally said
online.
get your tickets now.
I don't know. There's a link.
There's a link? What's the link? You don't know the link?
It's
Is there a
at
link on
Even
that
Bright.
video,
I
Jake?
think it's on Andy's page.
Andy's page? Okay, well, that's really great marketing.
Yeah.
That's brilliant.
I didn't know
That's
we were- I
brilliant.
didn't know
The
we were
video
talking-
literally says get your tickets now, and they do not know where to
go?
Just find Richie on the square.
Yeah.
You know, he'll be around there.
I'll be there. Come get them from me.
So what's up, dudes? We got Tony Casillas, Kenny Severson here.
Hi,
Tony
how's it going?
back. How many episodes have you been on now?
This is my second one.
Okay, so you're last. That's good. No, we'll get you on for the third. I don't know, maybe not.
I want to
How
be
you
on
doing?
right after the third, or the first. Joey Johnson.
And then we'll do like a
host.
prequel, like the
Yeah,
Star Wars trilogy,
let's
and
do
then
it.
we'll call it your first and pretend like you. Yeah, hell yeah. What's up, man? How
Hey,
you been?
how's it going?
You know,
Great.
hanging
How are
out.
you?
I'm good. My coffee needs to kick in. I'm like kind of crashing it right now. And see, now I can drink it because I'm not Joe Coffee. How brilliant is that?
Yeah, that's amazing.
That's the reason you quit is because you wanted to try coffee.
Yeah,
I honestly heard him say before. I don't know what the context was, but he said, "Hey, I feel less guilty drinking coffee."
Yeah, absolutely.
Why do you feel guilty drinking coffee?
The guilt was real.
Because there's too many jokes. Then when I'm drinking, I get annoying jokes about it's coffee drinking coffee. It's coffee doing coffee.
You know, Jim Beam became an alcoholic once he changed his name.
Jim Beam, once he changed it, what was his name originally? Do you really know
No,
this?
it was Jim Beam first, and then he changed it to Jim Jimerson, and then he started drinking.
He didn't really change it to Jim Jimerson,
Yes,
did
it
he?
did. Google it, Joe.
I don't want to Google it. Is that a real thing? Seriously?
Jim Jimerson, yes.
Okay, I don't know. I don't know why I thought you. That's like a Richie. Richie's the one that.
Hey,
you're a liar, right? You're a liar.
I'm a
There's no
liar.
way. There's no way. But he's also the guy who made Jim Beam, so I wouldn't say it's going out on a limb to think that guy doesn't have a mass amount of Jim Beam in his system to change his name to Jim Jimerson.
It's a good name.
It's something I'd slightly believe.
The Jimersons are a great American family.
The great American, the Jim Jimersons.
Honestly,
They're great.
Did you say Jim
Jimerson and Tim?
They should have beaten William Taft for the presidency, in my opinion. It should have been a Jimerson household. Jimerson White House.
4 more years. 4 more years.
Jim is Jimerson the fourth. And his great grandfather Jimmy Jimerson the third, and so on.
They built this country.
They did. They sure did.
Expect these terrible jokes in our film I Stand Alone.
Yeah. So here we go. There's the plug. What have you guys been up to? I know what you've been up to. You want to tell
the world?
The world. The whole
tell
7
everybody.
of them. And Tom Goley.
Let Tom Goley know.
Yeah. Let Tom Goley know what's up, just so
Tom
he can
Trolley.
incessantly troll you.
So basically, what happened? This is just the story. So over the summer, I had this idea about writing a movie about stand-up comedy, and the fact because there's a lot of shows out and movies about stand-up comedy, and I wanted to write one about when you're first starting off, early stages of comedy and dealing with family and friends dealing with it
at a much more amateur level.
Yeah,
DIY.
Because everything is
family.
just it's weird because even Pete Holmes' show is just I'm starting out, but I'm hanging out with Sarah Silverman.
Yeah, I've always said Crashing is like Tony Hawk Pro Skater for stand-up comedy because he's literally walking down the street and it's oh, there's Jerry Seinfeld, let's kick it, and then walks down the street and it's Bob Burnquist, hey, you want to help me do my first set?
Yeah. When I met Jerry Seinfeld, he just kicked me. We didn't kick it.
Yeah.
But
wow, okay.
It's terrible. No, but so I wanted to write
promoting stand-up comedy movies. Bad jokes.
No, but I came up with this idea just based off what I went through when I first started out with comedy. When I first met comedians and I wanted to quit because I was awful. When you first start, but then you meet some really cool people and they're no, you're
starting,
or you meet people worse than you.
Oh yeah,
and you're okay.
But no, it was mainly the other
Tony.
part.
Oh yeah.
No, I met Kenny.
Yeah.
No, but so it's just a story about a girl who's starting out in comedy and she's 4 months in.
What? No, starred by who was the actress again?
Carson Cobb.
Carson Cobb.
Yeah,
she's great. She's
who
fantastic.
doesn't do stand-up.
She
comedy.
does not, but she started researching, which was great.
And you had a bunch of, which is interesting because you had a bunch of comics in the film. I mean, I'm in some scenes. I'm disgruntled open mic host on myself. We got Mikey B, who's been on the show.
He plays
the dad of her.
Yeah. Carson's dad.
You're in it.
Brad McKenzie. I play myself.
Brad McKenzie.
Hold on, wait. So she's just starting comedy and she runs into all y'all?
No, it's like a local scene. That's the thing.
Okay.
Yeah, she's like
You're like the Jerry Seinfeld of.
No, it's not the Tony Hawk.
But
no, it's like an open mic.
It's an open mic scene. Nothing great. And the cool thing about it is
nothing great.
We wanted to make this movie about just local comedy and kind of like a town like Denton, where it's this small but very tight knit comedy community. Yeah. And so I thought of this idea, and Short Film Club is a great club at UNT.
Yeah.
Every semester they pitch 40 movies, and they pick 4 to get funding. And I didn't first off want to pitch it. I did not want to pitch my idea because I didn't think it would be good enough or whatever.
Pitching's weird.
And it's weird. It's
I did it for a one-shot scene with you and another dude yesterday, and I just felt weird,
and it's 180 people, and you have a minute. 180 people, and you have to sell your idea. And the weekend
how much did you prep for that? Almost like a set, like a joke.
It was pretty much. It was almost word for word.
Did you have jokes in it?
Not really.
Not really?
Because I kind of wanted to
get
go
any-
the tone of the movie. Because the movie has comedic moments.
Yeah.
But it's a drama. I would say it's a dramedy. But
I was just curious if within that minute you just made them laugh.
I made
just
one
naturally
joke.
as a
During the
speaker,
questions,
you know?
I made
Okay.
made them laugh. But I didn't want to pitch the movie. We were at a bar at Denton Brewing Company, and I was telling Kenny, Nicole Leftow, Devin Montoya, and Peyton this idea, and they're like, "No, Tony, like you should pitch this idea.
Yeah.
This is a really cool idea."
Right.
So I decided. I said, "What the hell? Like, even if it doesn't get picked, I can just make it on my own."
Yeah.
And then I pitched it, and then like 2 weeks later, I found out
You were one of the
Four- it was
one
the-
of the 4 out of the 40 that were submitted.
and it got voted most in the club's history.
Oh,
Like
nice.
the most
Awesome.
vote. So
Awesome.
it was just like this weird pressure. Like it was happiness, but then it was also like pressure.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, oh, if I make a terrible movie, these kids are gonna be pissed.
Which is
Yeah.
cool.
like
'cause
yeah, like
that
You have
whole
to
thing,
actually do it.
The fact it got that many votes is cool because it speaks testament to just like the scene, like like yourself, myself, Taylor, like a bunch of people have like put in to like make it what it is. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? For the students to see that, and be like, well, yeah, I want to see that. I've seen some
Yeah.
stand-up shows here. I want to see the
the movie about
Yeah.
it, and also related it in the fact where it's not just a movie about stand-up; it's just about art in general. Like if you're a musician, or if like even a magician, or like any art form,
Yeah.
when you go out and pursue it, you're gonna get backlash by family members, by friends who are like, "Oh, that's a cool hobby." Like that's you want to make money off of this, you idiot. Like, and that's like the main focus of this movie. So I pitched it, then I wanted Kenny to apply for it. At first, he didn't want to apply for it, but then I said no. Like we've worked on projects together.
to direct it.
Yeah, to direct it.
There were so many amazing directors that were applying that I was like, there's no
That you didn't-
way that I'm going to get this or anything like that. But I think it's because I have this stand-up background as well, and I know Tony, and we wrote it together, kind
Yeah.
of. That, yeah.
No, we
Well, in
wrote
my
it. We
short-
wrote
I,
it together.
Yeah.
No, the good thing about this film, what I like is, I especially when you're writing, and it's a first draft, there's gonna be a lot of mistakes. What I liked about writing with Kenny is we went in a room and literally for like 6 hours, we just wrote it out. And the cool thing was, I would throw out an idea, and if Kenny didn't like it, he'd be like, "Dude, this doesn't work for the story," or "This is too long."
Right.
And I'd be like, "Oh yeah," so we'd cut it. And then if Kenny pitched something, I'm like, "No, this doesn't work." Where what I like.
It's good to have a relationship like that with someone, especially when creating. And I've done script writing with some people
it can be
before, and
tough.
it can be very, very, very tough. And the fact, like, you have to keep each other grounded.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And really have like that tunnel vision of where you're, like the starting point and the ending point of where you're trying to be, and because you're filling in that middle. You know what I mean? And
No,
so
yeah.
it's really hard to find someone that you can work with like that. I mean, and even do you say like applying all the great directors, Kenny? I mean, was in a couple scenes, and my very, very minor experience than ever being on like a pretty legit film set. I mean, you killed it. You were great.
Thanks.
You were
I'll
high
pay you later
energy.
for
You were
saying
like
that.
fun to work with. Yeah. We'll make out in the bathroom later. But
Sounds great.
that's absolutely.
Yeah, fantastic.
No, and I mean it's a lot of fun for the people that don't know. It's UNC Short Film Club, right?
UNT Short Film Club.
And I mean, it's pretty legit. I mean, I don't know. It was
No,
like the film, the set. Remember, we were talking about at Andy's. It looked like a real movie set.
No, the cool thing about this was, for me personally, because I know if I would have made it on myself, like the story would have still been great because we wrote it and it was still, but like just seeing like 30 kids, some of them who've never been on a film set before, or maybe it's like maybe smaller projects.
Yeah.
And just seeing work their butt off for something you wrote.
Yeah, it was really cool.
And they are showing up.
And there was food.
Yeah, food. No, and it was just everybody was just happy to be there, and it like for me personally, and it's kind of an emotional thing because it is kind of based off my life and all that. But it was just cool seeing all this come together. Even with Kenny, it's like it was a fun set, but it was also a serious set. It wasn't just goofing off. And I saw the film, and I like teared up watching it because it's like the proudest thing I've ever gotten to create.
Yeah.
How long is it?
It's 12.
It's 13
minutes, yeah. But it's
which is pretty.
Did
tight
y'all
for,
write
like
it after? Did y'all write after?
After
you
the
pitched
pitch.
It?
Yeah.
So do you think you would have written it the same? You know what I mean? Because there's
Yeah.
a certain pressure. You know what I mean? When it's on, when you're like, okay,
Yeah.
we need you to do this thing
Once
now.
now
that you
it's
said.
time to create and have it by a
You know what I mean?
certain.
The reason I didn't write it before is because I didn't want to like make the movie about myself.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
because it's not about me. The pitch was it's about like following your dreams, following your passion. You're like in a field that you're most likely not going to succeed in, but you're still so passionate about it. You're going to go. And my thing was, and talking to Kenny, and I was glad he was open about it. Was we went into casting. like it was a blind cast. We didn't care if it was a man, woman, black, white, whatever, fat, skinny. Like I didn't care. We just wanted to cast the best of the best to play these roles.
And she did great.
Carson did great.
Carson
My God.
Great. And her delivery, I mean, just telling those jokes to know. She was having to, because we had to do sets. I guess we can talk about this. When we were filming, the audience isn't actually reacting.
No.
So, Tony, you had to
movie
go up
magic.
And do it. Yeah, exactly. Tony had to go up.
Movie magic, dude.
Tony had to go up and do a set at Killers. Like, for what? How long? Like a joke or
it was
like
a minute and a half.
something? Yeah, and get no laughs. And then I would have to go up because I play the open mic host and go up and like make people like, come on, everybody, and like
Well,
no
that's what
one's
you
clapping.
do normally.
Yeah, exactly.
That
That's
wasn't happening.
literally no, exactly. That's just it's
I was acting
disgruntled
like
open
a-
mic host. Like, yeah, I can kill that. I've been method acting for years. I've been preparing for this role my whole life.
This is gonna get you the Oscar. I know that.
That or Pumpkin Police. That are
Yeah.
Which
Double bill for you.
I know. When's the premiere?
December 2nd. Everyone
December
come out
2nd.
December 2nd.
Lyceum Theater.
Additionally, we're trying to plan another screening for I Stand Alone, like a big event with the comedians that are in it and some of the bands that are in the soundtrack.
Right.
Probably in January. Something
Pearl
like
Earl's
that.
on the soundtrack.
Pearl Earl, the single issues. We have like basically
Awesome.
my theory, like with this movie, what I wanted to do was take Tony's idea and the stand up and all that kind of stuff, which I love, but just make it about Denton. Like Denton is such a beautiful, it's not like LA or New York, like where you like see your dreams come true. It's just where you discover where you like what you want to be.
Yeah.
So
Before
like
you
I
take
just
it
wanted to make a
to
movie
that.
about that.
Yeah.
It's a good stepping stone.
It's a good incubator.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah.
It's a good just because
where you find
Let's
your
see who
like,
can
best
let's see who can
friends.
throw out
Or
the smartest metaphor for what it's like. We're gonna keep one up each
Or
other.
sometimes you just
It's like a womb.
sometimes you stay here till your dreams dissolve, and then you make new dreams.
Yeah.
Yep.
Or you
Yeah.
just become homeless,
Or a magician.
and you ask Jake for free coffee. So the premiere is December 2nd.
Yep.
UNT Lyceum. What other films are? It's 4 films.
Yeah. It's
So it's yours.
Pumpkin
The
Police.
Pumpkin Police one that
Yeah,
I'm in.
directed by Haley Harmon. She's fantastic. You're in
fantastic.
it. Mikey's in it
I'm
as
in it.
well.
Mikey's in it.
Peyton Fowler directed One More Night, written by Mary Chavez,
What
and
is
that's
that?
a fantastic. It's like a drama about toxic relationship. It's fantastic. Then what else? Tipless, which is a
Tipless is-
horror film
it's a
directed
horror
by
comedy.
Sierra Boniface. She's fantastic. It's gonna be great.
And it's written by Truman, and Truman is like the goofiest guy I've met at UNT,
Yeah.
and he wrote like just a really silly, fun script, and it's going more like this horror comedy
Yeah, it's
direction,
getting
and I'm
darker.
very excited
Cool.
for that one.
Oh man, that's gonna be a fun night.
It's
They're
like
all
a-
gonna be shown that night.
Yeah,
Yep.
it's
Oh,
and
that's
it's a
so
cool
cool.
showcase because what I like about this showcase from past ones, because sometimes you get like same genre over and over. Where this you're getting goofy comedy, you're getting more of a serious movie, then you're getting like a horror comedy mix, and then you're getting kind of like a drama, but it's also a feel good drama. So it's gonna be a night. Of,
Wait, which one? Are you the feel good drama?
I would say it's like
Are you the feel good
Yeah,
drama?
it's
Is
an
that what you're talking about?
inspiring
I stand
sort of
alone.
genre.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
Inspiring people not
At
to
the
do
end, you
stand
feel
up
Yeah,
comedy.
never
Yeah.
do that.
Never-
become
don't-
an accountant. That's the point of the
Yeah.
movie.
Go
People
to
are reading
school.
that.
go to school.
Yeah.
Listen to Mikey B's dad character.
The movie ends. The last 8 minutes is just Carson filling out worksheets.
Yeah.
That sounds
She's
riveting.
like,
Yeah,
I'm
it's
finally
good.
happy.
Sounds riveting.
Her
Yeah.
boss is like, "Do you have those sheets?" And she's like, "Yes, sir." All right.
Oh, my
Still
goodness.
working on them.
She's like, "Ooh."
5 more minutes.
I have a great 401k scene in there when she signs up. She's like, "Yes, I got it."
The retirement.
Yeah.
And she died. Just the whole
It's
life
beautiful,
after
yeah.
stand-up
Yep.
comedy.
It's
And
very-
it's just
Kind of
so
an
much
up
happier.
sequence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, anything on here that you guys like? Anything you can talk about? You're working on like in the future now, or anything
What
you
are you
want to
doing?
talk about?
Yeah, I just I don't know. I think me and Kenny wanna we just want to start like directing and writing like little skits.
Yeah.
Because I feel like we actually over the summer with Devin Montoya and Peyton Fowler, we wrote a pilot for a show, and
About a pilot.
Huh? It's not about a pilot.
Pilot about a pilot.
It's
called pilot.
Pilot means it's the first episode.
Pilot,
Richie.
pilot.
It's called Wings.
Welcome to the industry. Welcome to the industry.
Yeah. Have you seen Pulp Fiction, dude?
Yeah.
Do you like that magician movie with
The Illusionist or The Prestige?
no, the one with Jesse Eisenberg, the one with
Slide.
Now You See Me.
Now You See Me?
The
Now You
one
See Me.
with WWE, brought to you in part by WWE.
No, Now
No.
You See Me. Have you seen that one?
I just had to ask.
Oh
Richie
yeah,
that.
I did see that movie.
Did you like
Oh.
it?
I liked it. I mean,
was that your like Saving Private Ryan?
no. I don't know.
Your American
My Saving Private Ryan was Chris Angel
American
season
magician.
2.
Now You See Me. Dude, me and a friend actually talked about that today. They should have called it Now You Don't. That would have been the perfect name.
Yeah,
now You See Me, Now You Don't.
Oh, that would have been great.
But no, they're
Idiots.
idiots.
Kinda
Hire
like
me,
the-
Hollywood.
They're like, hey, we have a great name. Now You See Me 2. Like, oh, it's brilliant. We'll get right on. We'll get the iPhone people on that. And the Joey Johnson people.
So some sketches. Stuff. I mean, we talked about doing some stuff.
Yeah,
so.
we're gonna. I just want to start. I think we just want to start creating. Cause
Yeah.
Yeah.
I graduate in May.
I graduate next fall.
So
Don't
it's-
do it. Don't do it.
And we're gonna.
Draw it out.
Stay in school.
We're actually living together next year, so during that time, we just want to write and create as much as possible. So before we do make the jump to a bigger city, we actually have content that we can be like, hey, we made this.
Yeah, that's always fun too, living with another comic or someone else that like you have that like, you know.
And we like, I really feel like we do help each other when it comes to writing.
Yeah.
Which is
you guys
like,
write jokes together a lot? Like
yeah, we'll
workshop stand up a lot?
Every time we like
every night at Eastside.
Workshopping's so good, man. Workshopping is so good. I've gotten so much good stuff from like Mana or like sitting like down with Mana, like Mikey, people like just in general before mics and Luke, and it just helps so much
and
to get that different perspective on a thing. And I guess that also helped you guys with writing this.
Definitely.
Just that different, the two brains working symbiotically into like one, making this one thing. Like I said, you have to have that chemistry with someone to make something like that work, I guess.
And if y'all styles are similar, then that always feeds off.
Our styles in comedy aren't that similar.
No, not at all.
Like, you're like almost like a poet. I would say he's kind of like a Mark Maron type, where he almost goes like in this weird poetic kind of just rambling. Like,
I mean, I wouldn't say he's as loud as Marin. I'd say you're like a lot louder on stage, but you're more like big movements and stuff.
No, Kenny is more like a Mark Maron.
Yeah. No, I know that, but Marin also gets like loud and Kenny doesn't get like angry. Kenny has a. I don't even know how you would say it because there's almost like there is the obvious thespian aspect to it. When you're like selling stories and stuff. You're almost like stage acting like with your stand up, and his is almost like that subtle, like, what I mean? But it's like you can both tell that both of you have the chops, them acting chops.
Yeah, I like it.
How many of these short films have you been in? Both of you?
Been
like
in?
before?
How
you
many
said
we
you've
made?
Yeah. I mean, no, with the short film club, because you said like you've been to these premieres before. How many of you like
I've worked on
acted in?
I've never acted in one. I've worked on a few. I worked on Devin Montoya's film. And I think that was the first one and only one I really. And then I would.
Is this the first one you wrote that's gotten
first one I wrote
picked
first,
up?
Yeah. Because before this, I would just write my own stuff, shoot it in a weekend, edit it in a week, and they're good. They're okay.
Yeah.
But there's always problem. But with this one, it was like planning, like you talk about it, because I only wrote it. Like, talk about your experience making this.
Like planning all of this?
Yeah, how it was.
I mean,
I know you were.
Yeah, like it goes back to wanting to like have this be a movie about Denton, so we wanted to bring as much Denton into it as possible, getting all these comics out there. And yeah, we wanted to do really interesting stuff. Like, we didn't want to just shoot, shot, reverse shot kind of stuff. So we got a Steadicam operator who had this amazing rig. Casey did an amazing job.
Oh, that thing was insane.
Right?
That's the craziest rig.
$30,000 right there, baby.
Him trying to walk around with that thing, walking up those tiny steps to get on the stage and stuff. And the one-track shots, I mean, that's going to look so good.
Yeah,
very Birdman-esque.
Oh yeah, exactly. That was a big inspiration with this. And then also shooting in all these bars, right? Like, we really wanted to feature these Denton bars, which was kind of a hassle with production because they're open until 2 a.m. and then don't open until like
4. Or
yeah. So
what all bar? It's Andy's Denton County.
Denton County Brewing Company, Killers. Is that all of them?
Killers.
It's a lot of locations though already for a 13-minute film.
I think that's it.
Yeah.
And then we had a house scene, but what I want to just say too is just how open everybody was to let us shoot. Like, tell them the story about the first weekend in Andy's, the technical difficulties.
Yeah, we had some technical difficulties. Yeah, you remember that. Yeah.
The wires started smoking up.
Yeah.
We didn't get any footage from that day, right?
Yeah.
And the wires were smoking. Like, I think we blew a fuse or something. It was really bad, right?
Because Mikey
really
was
bad.
up there playing as the dad, watching his daughter on the stage.
Right.
And then he was like, "Hey, there's a cord smoking. Is that supposed to happen?" No.
And there was like a fog machine going on, so it was like kind of hard to tell. You know what I mean, for
That's
him
how
and stuff.
Hollywood Mikey B is. He's like, the chord's on fire. That's Hollywood for me, baby.
That's La La Land.
Did the smoking wire make a cut?
Oh my God.
No, we filmed through the flames.
Oh, okay.
We rebuilt Andy.
We go hardcore at the Short Film Club.
I like what y'all did with it.
But the owners were so amazing. Like, first of all, if I owned Andy's and that happened, I would be pissed.
No more.
Yeah,
no
never
more.
ever again. But they were like, yeah, just shoot next weekend. Totally cool. Yeah.
Check your wires, my dude.
Yeah.
You know,
I know.
Actually, and it's so great too because they're like now they want to feature Short Film Club movies. Like on Sunday,
Good.
one of my first film that I directed, is playing at Andy's.
Really good. Really good.
Yeah. So
awesome. And they have the big projector screen and all that. When
yeah,
is
it's gonna
that?
be fun. That's on Sunday.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. What time?
Roughly
It's
9 p.m. I think because they're
I'll
showing
probably be able to
Best
make it
Little
awesome.
Horror House in Texas, and then it's after.
So what
that.
film is this?
This is called Three Scenes on Fire. It's like a dramatic film that I wrote with
It's
only
really
one
good.
character in it, and she's just having phone conversations. Like, yeah, it's artful.
Also, Haley Harmon's film is going to be premiering there.
Yep.
Or showing there.
Inked.
Inked. She made a fantastic rom-com, and it's such a genius idea. Like, I remember
I
listening
love
to the
hearing you
pitch.
say rom-com.
No, I love rom-coms. I grew up on rom-coms, man. I as you can
him saying
tell.
it, so-
Rom-com. No, the cool thing about seeing Inked was, because I remember her pitching it in our, like, intro film class, like 2210, and she pitched this idea, and I was like, that's genius. And now seeing her make this film, and that it got a great reception and everything, your film I've seen, it's cool.
And then she's gonna ruin her career with Pumpkin Police.
I don't think so.
It's gonna be funny.
She hates. No, she said Joe Coffey's the what was it, worst actor?
Good.
But Joey
good.
Johnson.
Joey
she
Joey
Johnson.
Johnson's
Oh.
She said Joey
Fantastic.
Johnson,
Killing it.
Oscar
Joey
winner.
Awesome. I did shave a mustache for that role.
You look fantastic, by the way.
It
That
looks
looked
ridiculous.
ridiculously fantastic.
the tight Under Armour shirt
Yeah.
and stuff. Oh, it's gonna be.
It's your profile picture now, isn't it?
Yeah.
Nice.
Just because it looks, I got to set some authority, on Facebook. Joey
That's
Johnson.
true.
I'm a cop now. I don't do. It's such a silly
Left
outfit.
that comedy scene behind.
Oh, we look so and it was supposed to look like we put it together, like Mike was there in like shorts, wearing like a button up and like an actual cop hat, and I'm wearing the state trooper one, the round like super trooper looking one.
Do you know one funny story about that? That I think it was Haley or Thomas told me, my roommate, that there was a scene where Mikey's wearing a GoPro.
They
and he
did
just
some
walks,
body cam footage.
Yeah, and he
of him.
walks in like a in like some cabin or whatever.
And, there's like a shed in the
shed,
backyard.
yeah, and he says something ridiculous, and Haley just goes, "Why? What made him think that?" And I was like, "Oh, that's just the comic in him." He just goes like, "Are these hookers sleeping in here again?" And she goes, "That has nothing to do with anything. That has nothing to do. This is a movie about pumpkins."
Mike literally trying to get in those
Just
bits
yeah.
and skits. Oh my god,
I love it. Like.
Yeah.
What was interesting about that film is it's like they're doing it mockumentary style. So I had to explain to Mike, I was like, we can't be too silly. Like what makes shows like that, like Parks and Rec, The Office, like really funny is like the subtle like humor in it. You know what I mean? Because it needs to kind of come off like it's real.
Yeah.
In order for it to like hit. You know what I mean?
Because once it gets too goofy, you're like, okay.
Yeah, and
Just a bit.
it's pretty goofy. So I'm interested to see.
I think honestly, I think it's gonna be really good. Like,
Okay.
I think all of them.
I need you to talk me through this. Thank you.
No, I really do. I think.
Talk me down from this.
Actually, the best part was having all these comedians come in and audition because they were all auditioning for I Stand Alone. But to be in Pumpkin Police too, you guys are good actors and you have good comedic timing too. So you really added a lot to our short films. And
it was a lot of fun. Gage was in it also.
Yep.
Gage T Arena.
And he's also in Tipless.
No, I remember before they even shot, Haley Harmon sent me like a Snapchat or a text, and she was just like, "Oh my God, I really want to use Joe Coffey and Mikey B," because she was just like, these guys are so much fun and they work great together. And she's like,
and my audition after my serious monologue that was terrible that I like thought of on the way
Pool
up
Hall
there.
Junkies.
I did Christopher Walken from Pool Hall because I thought remember I thought it was a different day.
Yeah.
And so like I'm driving up there within that last hour and I just like looked up and that was like one of the first pages. It was the shortest one. I was like, all right, well,
Joe.
all right, then talk this through because I don't do auditions.
I'm not
That's
mad
not a
that
thing.
I'm not mad that you forgot that it was that day. I'm mad that the first thing that came to your mind was Christopher Walken Bullhole Junkie. I'm gonna get it. Like what?
It wasn't first thing.
Okay.
Mikey sent me like a link that you sent him with monologues on it, and that was like one of the first ones. And again, I'm driving from. I was like at my parents or something, so I had to. So,
did you memorize?
That's a good question though. As with the experience of that, like, how does one pick the right monologue for an audition? Like, where does that, like, is it kind of like
what the movie is that you're auditioning for?
Yeah.
Not Pool Hall Junkies, probably.
yeah.
And
never Pool Hall Junkies.
That's the one. That's the one rule.
Rookie mistake.
That's the one rule. It's a great monologue.
It is.
And then I just did jokes after it because I felt
Yeah, you were like, okay, guys, sorry, I'm a comedian, so I can make you laugh.
Yeah. And it worked, and then I just made fun of the room and how it looked, and that was fun.
It's a weird environment, though. And then also, like...
For people that don't know, you walk in, it's like 10 people sitting around behind
and you're not allowed to
laptops,
react.
paper.
Not allowed to laugh or anything like that, unless you can't help it or whatever.
Yeah. And it's silent, and they're just like, all right, do your thing.
It's terrible. Like, I'm a supportive person. I want you to know you're doing a good job, and I just have to like sit there like this.
I remember because that was like my first real audition.
Yeah.
And there's one person did a monologue, and I was like, that was really great. And then after he left, Kenny's like, you can't tell him that. I was like, but he did do good.
You have to be,
I have to be stern. I have to say you suck.
It's the weirdest
disapproving father.
Yes. And coming from stand-up where the reaction's always there, like it's honest and you know what they're thinking, even if it's funny or not, you know. So walking out, you just feel kind of dirty walking out of auditions. You're like, ugh, I don't know what just happened.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you feel like you woke up from the night of blackout drinking. You're like, what just happened? Like where am I now? Yeah, exactly. Did they like that? Yeah, auditioning's it was super. That's an interesting process.
It is weird
for sure.
I wouldn't want to be on that other end. I don't. Being an actor, it's terrible.
Tough.
Yeah,
because being an actor, I feel like is the toughest job because you have to like get the lines, you have to interpret it as you want to do it.
Job.
Yeah, no, I do. Because
it depends on what you're.
Have you heard Ari Shafir's bit about acting and how it's just like playing pretend for grown-ups? And then he does this thing. Like he's on this rant about it on stage about how it's just playing pretend. It's not talent. And then he's like immediately turns and he's like, "What'd you say over there?" And he like freaks out like he's pointing to a heckler in the back and he like freaks out on him. He's like, "That was acting. That's what I just did." And he's like, there's no one that said anything, and everyone in the audience like he gets them to believe he's yelling at someone. He's like, "Yeah, there's nobody there. Like that's acting."
No, I do. I think it's probably one of the hardest
it's
because
tough. I mean, I couldn't cry.
It's
on
also
command.
tedious.
It's
like doing it like the same line,
shot after shot.
Times.
Yeah.
I could do the Barney,
which happened a lot for I Stand Alone because the one take scenes. You know what I mean?
Right.
Richie, don't
and
go
that's
near
getting
kids.
everything
Stay away.
down choreography. Yeah.
Yeah, the one take scenes are like I feel like very trying as exactly because then you have to go through the whole thing again. You know what I mean? And do it certain things the same way or change certain things that you didn't like, and it's just like for a 5-minute shot, and, you know, maybe 2 minutes of dialogue, one part, you know, then walk halfway across the room, you know, get the timing down with that, then have 3 minutes of, I mean, that seems like
the fact that we achieved it, I feel amazing about that. And
the
you
fact
guys,
that the filming's done.
Yeah, I felt great.
Is it all thrown? Is a lot of posts done right now?
We're picture locked, so
shout
now we just need to
shout out to the editor,
dude. Yeah, Wesley Marsh was amazing as an editor. He got me pick locked in like a week and a half, right? And then we're just gonna color it and put audio in it, like make sure the audio levels are good.
So picture locked mean it's like in terms
that's
of,
the edit. That's what it is. Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
It looks great.
And I know you were scared about it that we only had a month of post production.
Right.
But it's just like what I saw, because I wasn't on set every day, because I wanted to stay away as a writer. I wanted Kenny to have full control. That was my biggest thing. Was I wanted Kenny to I didn't want there to be a weird presence.
The writer thing is interesting. I didn't realize till the last day of Pumpkin Police the writer had been there the whole time, and so I would go up to Haley at times because some things were just. And again, this is not a jab. The guy, he's obviously not a joke. Like he hasn't done stand up. He doesn't know like tight joke writing. You know what I mean? So some of the stuff was kind of clunky and felt weird saying. And I told Haley, I was like, hey, can I maybe take out this word or switch this here? Like I would still get the same thing across, and then we would improvise some lines, you know, because she wanted us to do that. And I didn't realize till the last day he was like sitting there, and I just felt so bad because we were talking about a line check or something. She was like, "What do you like mean like what by this?" And he starts talking. I'm like, "Oh man, I've been like sitting here being like, you know, going up to her like, I think this joke's kind of blocky."
That's also why it kind of isn't great to have the writer on on set because the director is
That
like
whole
the
pride
boss,
thing.
right?
Yeah,
so
yeah.
like you want to make sure that like I want to change this line. You
And
talk
we know
to the
how
director.
writers are. As writers,
Yeah,
you
they're
feel
so
very
insecure.
like,
Yeah, you're like,
no,
no, but
baby.
but yeah.
But that's also
My
why.
vision.
That's
Yeah.
why I loved writing with Kenny because when we finished the script.
Well, you're writing with the director.
Yeah, that's what I'm
and
saying.
Yeah.
And it was nice because I knew even if he was going to change like a little bit here and there, the meat of it and the story and the basic premise was going to be the same.
Yeah. Right.
So I was just like, you know what? I'm going to stay. I'm going to show up the days I have to and the days I don't. I trust Kenny. I didn't
Yeah.
want to be there.
Plus, when you get it back, it's like
It
you
was
weren't there
amazing.
for the whole process. Like I think that's what messes up a lot of things when you're being creative is, music or anything. When you're there for the entire process, then at the end you don't really enjoy it as much as if I sent it out for someone else to mix it and edit it and do all, and then I get it back and I'm like,
yeah.
what is this brand new thing that
Right.
you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
it feels good to like.
And I just want to give a shout out to like Kenny in general. Like, no, awesome. Honestly, because
I am kidding.
in the UNT community, the film community, there are like directors that are seen to be like the top directors. And honestly, I think with 3 Scenes on Fire, which is a great film, every film he does, he takes it 2 steps higher. At this weird speed, where 3 Scenes on Fire was a solid movie. Where
Right.
People's first directing. I remember my first directing movie was dog crap. It was honestly dog crap. Dumb story.
I saw
Looked
that.
awful. You didn't see it. No one's
Dog
seen
crap
it.
too.
Dog crap too.
Now you see it.
Now you see it. No, you don't. No, but
You didn't see it, and it's just a shoe.
it just blows my mind seeing Kenny just as because he was already known to be a really great writer, but just taking the helm of directing and like making this movie like it's the first movie I've been a part of that I've like had a major part on.
Yeah.
That feels like a real movie.
Yeah.
And I
And
showed
it was legit in the process too. Like
And it
I
was
said,
cool.
I was so
It was-
surprised. I was like,
it was
"Man,
cool.
this
Like I showed my dad, and my dad texted me back, and he was like, "Oh
I
my."
finally love you, son.
Yeah. He's like,
You can stop doing stand
Yeah,
up.
he
I love
give
you
up
now.
I'll give you a hug.
I love you now. No more. Come back home, Tony.
I'll give you a hug.
They were just like, they were like, "Holy cow!"
Come back to the
this-
family farm.
Hey, my dad's a military man.
Really?
Yeah,
Military.
He's coming
Is
to
he really?
Yeah, West
Oh.
Point. That's why he's coming down this weekend.
Okay.
Army versus.
Does that have something to do with? I
UNT?
mean, you're pretty casual today, but this is very Tony casual.
This is Tony
for those
casual,
that don't
yeah.
know and can see.
Is that your real name?
Is that one of the reasons you're like? Do you like? Does he a very dressed up, well put together man?
He would like, yeah, he would be like,
Tuck in your shirt.
Yeah, just tuck in your shirt. He's
Really?
like, yeah.
Oh
It would,
wow.
like, it would be weird.
Okay,
He would be
now
like,
we're really digging deep into this.
sometimes
Yeah, we would go to the grocery.
Now we're really digging
We'd
deep into
go to
Roger
the-
Casillas.
We'd go to the grocery store, and he's like, just tucking that shirt, and he would make me wear like polos. Like as a kid, I looked like a 40-year-old.
Like,
yeah,
you looked like you were always
yeah, like a
like
40
Easter was every day.
Yeah,
kind of a
Easter
thing.
was every day, and it was just like it was great. Girls really dig the
believe you.
40-year-old like
yeah,
style.
Yeah, the dad
It's
style.
like, hey, those are.
No, but I love my dad, and it's great. And what I think is great about this movie is because it was kind of about our tear in our relationship. When I did first start comedies, like you don't go out late to practice these jokes. Focus on school.
Yeah.
And he's seen me be able to manage school, stand up, and now
And
he saw this
doing
movie,
film.
and he saw it, and he goes, "Oh my God!" Like this past week, he texted me twice, and he just out of nowhere just goes, "Hey, like high school friends of mine saw some of your photography, and I just want to say like you're a really great creative." And my dad never understood art.
So I was so spot on.
Yeah.
He loves you now.
Yeah, no, not he's
I
always
know,
loved,
I know,
yeah,
I know,
yeah, yeah.
I know.
I
No,
love
but
it.
there's that certain like
love you, Papa.
admiration where they
Love
get.
you, Papa. Papa.
He's not even German, but Papa.
Is that why you're in Germany? Because the military?
Military, yeah,
Okay,
that's
that
where I
makes
met my
sense.
mama.
Okay, that's why you moved
That's
so
why I
much.
met my mother.
Shirts. My mother.
My Mutter.
How do you say mother in German?
Mutter.
Mutter?
Of course.
What were you saying?
No. Just like, my parents didn't really care what I did.
Yeah.
But I did have friends who, like,
But look where
their
that got
parents
you.
cared.
You're
Yeah.
wearing-
Yeah, look at me now.
Look at you.
Look at these shorts.
They got,
Now you
they
do-
got holes.
Pineapples
on your shirts.
Pineapples on your shirt.
Yeah.
Do you even eat pineapples?
Not regularly.
I'm not even a fan. I hate them, to be honest.
How do we
They're
feel
too
about
acidic. They hurt my tongue.
How do we feel about pineapple on pizza?
Disgusting. Go.
Okay,
Get out.
You're my dude.
Get out of.
Hell yeah.
Hey,
Kenny loves it. He's quiet.
I don't
right
like
now.
kid
Kenny loves
pizza.
pineapple on
Joe,
pizza.
can I make
right?
a statement real quick?
I don't persecute people who do it. I don't.
Oh, you know I do.
don't want
I will
that,
persecute.
But I don't like ham. So
Whoa,
Whoa,
dude. Some of us
okay.
do.
Can I make a statement real quick? Camera on me real quick. Politics aside, if you eat pineapple on pizza, get the hell out. All right.
That ain't a pizza. That's a party.
I'm so down with that. I'm with you on that entirely. Build a wall of crust.
Pizza.
Pizza wall.
So, should we ask Joey a question?
Yeah.
So, how does it feel like, how did you feel like doing 2 movies with Short Film Club as an actor?
Yeah. Like I said, because I've only ever done like sketch stuff with friends. You know what I mean? Like very, very tiny things. And it felt very, what?
Later.
Later. Okay, pineapple. No, it was cool, man. It felt legit. And like I said, I mean, I haven't ever seen a real movie set, but I mean, it entirely felt like that. You know, it was very legit. Everyone was like so cool to work with. I mean, dude, when I was, Pumpkin Police, I'm the lead or whatever, and literally a girl barely brushed my arm. She's like, "Oh my god, I'm so sorry." And I was like, "What is this?" I was like, "Where's my trailer?"
Yeah,
like, where is that?
You should have abused that.
I wasn't in my rider. You don't touch me.
I mean, the craft services thing with the food. Like, I've been on some sets for a couple of things, and that was always my. Like, I remember just taking pictures of that and be like, "Mom, made it."
That's
she's like, "You made all that food?" I'm like, "No, Mom, I made it. I made all this food."
Mama, I made it. No, and it was a lot of fun. It's something I definitely want to keep doing. You know what I mean? And everyone is super cool, very professional, very like.
Will you be in Standalone too?
Will I be in
I Stand Alone?
I Stand Alone too.
Still, I Stand Alone. Still.
I'm still standing alone.
I'm still standing alone. Well, that's the cue. So, all right, December 2nd is the premiere.
At Lyceum Theater, UNT.
Yep.
Okay, I Stand Alone,
And then
Pumpkin Police, Tipless.
If you can't make it to that, that's perfectly fine.
We're going to try and do something in January, a big show for Denton.
And then
come out to Convenient Comedy tonight to see me and Tony perform.
I will be at Convenient Comedy also tonight.
Nice.
Midway Crowd
I
Show.
got trivia tonight.
Are you going to come?
I got trivia till 8.
He's got
Also,
trivia.
If you can, come to the January show, because that's the show that we're going to raise money. It's going to be fantastic because we want to get this movie to as many festivals. We're talking South by Southwest.
Is it going to be online
Sundance.
anywhere?
Is it going to be on Amazon Prime?
Because if you put it online, you can't submit to festivals.
Right.
But we're trying to make this a statement. We and Kenny were talking about, we want to make Denton the Austin of the 90s with Richard Linklater, all these great filmmakers coming from Denton.
Yeah.
And we want to put a spotlight on this city. And we're so proud of this city. We're proud of you, Richie.
This is awesome, man. And I mean, you guys are getting some comics opportunities to get on film and stuff and get those acting chops, man. And
we've got more opportunities coming.
It's a lot of fun. So the premiere, December 2nd, UNT Lyceum Theater.
Yep. And if you miss that, it's free. If you miss it, January, come out. Pearl Earl, we're trying to get them to perform.
Cool.
Kenny, I love you.
Midway Craft House tonight for stand-up comedy, November 25th.
Happy birthday, Colton.
Andy's for Richie's Magic Show. We're actually going to try and get some magicians on maybe next week.
Yes.
Shout out to our one audience member, Lauren Anderson. Beautiful. Love you. And that's it. We're done. Episode 26, every Wednesday at 5:30. Nobody Knows with Joey Johnson and Richie Flo. Bye.
That was fun. Well, thank you for tuning in. We hope you enjoyed the show. Be sure to check out DentonRadio.com for new Denton artists and where they're playing next. While you're surfing the internet, make sure you check out our friends Classic of Denton at ClassicofDenton.com.